Hello, guys, and welcome to the live review of the Formula One Monaco qualifying. It's your host Matt back again for a wonderful stream, and I am joined by a wonderful panel. Starting off with Wayne. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, Matt. I'm good. Very entertaining qualifying, especially seeing your face at the end. But we'll get into it, that's for sure. And yeah, some interesting topics.
Yeah, and I'm also joined by KJ. I'm a bit angry with KJ's boys at the moment, but we'll get into that. But KJ, how are you doing?
I'm a bit gutted, man. Yeah, not the best qualifying for us. And Monaco, the race is really decided on qualifying. So this is the tough one. Yeah, not a good day for the boys. But yeah, man. All in all, we will see.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is. Obviously, if you guys haven't already seen, Charles Leclerc did take pole position. A bit anticlimactic. Thank you to Perez for spinning in the wall just before the bridge, and then Sainz followed him in the exactly the same place, which meant that my boy Lewis Hamilton couldn't get his lap together and now finishes in a measly eighth place. So the full classification for the top 10 was Charles Leclerc at top, followed by um, Carlos Sainz, followed by Perez, Verstappen, Norris, Russell, Alonso, Hamilton, Vettel, and Ocon. Um, Wayne, we'll start with you. Obviously, what do you think? Leclerc, pole, home country, you happy for him?
Of course, I'm happy for him. He's shown his pace throughout the weekend so far. Um, he has looked the most quickest. You could say Perez has probably been up there with him. But out of him and Verstappen, he has been looking the most quickest. Um, but I think tomorrow's another day. We know that he's got a track record of having a bad record over at his home Grand Prix, so we'll have to wait and see what happens tomorrow.
Oh yeah, hopefully he gets out without the engine blowing up on him like it has before. Um, I'm sure he'll at least enter the race, unlike other times. KJ, what do you think? Obviously, for you guys, it's a bit more personal than me and Wayne because we're just behind miles behind. But you happy to see Leclerc take pole in his home Grand Prix, or are you a bit disappointed?
Uh I mean, I'm happy, but it was a bit of a gift uh to him. Yeah, it's just, man, this sucks. It's nice. It's nice. It's a nice moment to see. I think as pure as just a F1 fan. But man, when you're when you're analyzing it, it hurts a lot. But yeah, this is just a prime example of why Monaco is just not suited for the new spec cars. Um, it's such a terrible place to drive. So I wouldn't be surprised if this happens again tomorrow. But yeah, overall, I'm happy. I'm happy. I hope Leclerc does well. Um, but yeah, still got to support the boys.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's nice for him to be pole. It's home Grand Prix. As Wayne said, he's not had the best of times there before, so it's nice. But yeah, I mean, the more and more the weekend goes, the more and more we get more information about how the contract for Monaco hasn't yet been renewed. There's less confidence that it will be renewed in time, and that this could be the final race for a while at Monaco, which would be for a historic track would be quite of a shell shock to see. I wouldn't be too dishappy with it. I know other people will disagree in terms of the historic case, but it is what it is. Obviously, moving down grid, Signs obviously had that crash thanks to Perez spinning, but overall, P2, that's good for Signs, ain't it, Wayne?
Yeah, it's what he needed. He needs another good weekend. He's in a lot of pressure at the moment. Even his dad come out and said he needs to do better. He hasn't done enough. So he's on got a lot of pressure on, and he needed that. He needed a good result, and like we've been obviously saying, the Grand Prix circuit is not the best, most entertaining for overtakes. So as long as he keeps himself out the wall, he should get himself a good result tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean Wayne, he was obviously still over 2 tenths more slower than Leclerc. Is that quite a big gap between the pair of them still?
If you're asking me compared to my team, no. Compared to my team, it's brilliant. But no, it's one of those things. I think Leclerc has always had the edge, and he's always been that quick, 2 tenths quick. I think all weekend, if I'm right. I think the only one who's ever got close to the 2 tenths is been Perez. So I'm not surprised, to be honest.
Yeah, KJ, what do you think? Do you think it's a lot for Sainz to be that far behind, or do you think if he got that lap together, do you think he would have been a bit closer?
I think he would have been. I think he would have been closer. But I mean, this is the current theme between Leclerc and Sainz. One driver is clearly having a great season. The other driver is playing catch up. This is he needed. He probably needed a better result. Personally, I think he probably needed pole because when it comes to race day, the results are significantly different. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens tomorrow. But I think he is proving to be someone that can't be able to challenge Leclerc.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you do always get a little bit of a decrease between second drivers and first drivers. Sorry, I've got distracted by typical Lewis Hamilton haters already getting their messages in nice and prompt. But big up to Nippin NS Sports TV for making a comment. Guys, make sure you put comments in, and any questions you want to ask, we'll answer them for you later on in the stream as we go through. Make sure you smash the like button. Try and get us 10 likes for this stream so it can get out to as many people as possible and we can grow the channel. Wayne, obviously, third place comes to Perez, but obviously that isn't the big highlight. The highlight is the incident in Q3. What did you think of the crash? Obviously, it's kind of ruined the end of the race of the qualifying, really. But can you
It
understand
was
what's gone wrong there?
no, because it's in such a peculiar place to have a crash. Because it's not like it's one of the slowest corners at Monaco, and he was going in such a speed, and he still got this spin, and it wasn't like it's a little hit. It was actually quite a big hit into the corner. It was just I'm watching it now. It's just
Yeah.
it's still this Banu, and yeah, I can't, I don't know what's. I think KJ can explain it better because he's a Red Bull fan, but for me, it was just bizarre.
It's crazy. KJ, what do you think?
Oh, what do I think? I think that's just a racer that didn't want to finish outside of the pole positions. I don't know what they're gonna blame it on. They're probably gonna say it's possibly gearbox damage, um, and signs make it a penalty. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. When you watch the replays, you can kind of see he was going so fast into that corner before the bridge, and it was unnatural. I can only assume that he sensed that he could maybe grab pole, and I think he probably could have. But yeah, it's a weird one. I don't want to give excuses for him, but it's a weird one, man. I don't know what his thought process was,
Yeah,
I guess the
I'm
moment was made.
I'm gonna be honest. This prick. He's a
Sorry, no.
prick. He's messed up Hamilton's lap. Hamilton getting some more unluckiness once again. It's just when I'm like DT. When is it gonna end, Robbie? When is it gonna end? Oh,
Oh,
I mean, I mean, I just don't understand why is he going at that speed into that corner. That is not. You could see that's not humanely possible to get through that corner like that without spinning, and it's no surprise that he spun. And it's stupidity. I'm kind of really badly hoping that both Sainz and Perez have got gearbox damage because that just deserves them right for the incidents. And then that means it'll be a bit more of an interesting battle because it'll be fast cars mixed with slower cars, and it'll hopefully create a bit more of a
Be
exciting.
Leclerc first, Verstappen second, and Norris third.
We'll get into Norris in a bit, but
No, I'm
actually,
just
yeah,
saying that, but
just because I don't want to see Norris on third place now, just to piss Wayne off. No, hopefully they ain't got damage. Just like to see Norris away. But yeah, I mean, apart from the crash, KJ Perez has been very much on fire, particularly today, hasn't he?
Oh no, he has. He has. I said this in our first stream. I think he has more potential to be better than Max. But it's a tricky situation because as good as he is in qualifying and as good as he is in race days, it kind of just seems like something's holding him back. But when you kind of take an overview and everything, it's really just because there are three other drivers that are performing better. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Checo. I think he's going to have an amazing season. It's unfortunate, man. I think his season has been riddled with just unnecessary and unfortunate circumstances. He should be having a better season, but yeah, I mean, I don't feel too bad about the season he's having now. I think he's having a great season, and I think it's going to pick up. But yeah, it's just days like these that kind of holds his performance back.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. I mean, wait, obviously, do you think we were kind of speaking as we were watching it together that he was having generally a good qualifying, wasn't he? Do you think he'll be strong in the race, depending on if he gets a penalty or not?
I think even if he does get a penalty, I think he would. We know about the weather, what we spoke about earlier. I think he's going to be a dark horse. He's got it fixed to this at the moment. His circuit seems to have been suiting him in his car. Something what I read, I was telling you earlier, he's never finished more than he's never finished in the top 7 at all at Monaco. He's always been outside top 7 qualifying. So for him to be hooked it up straight away and doing as well as he has been, it's really nice to see because he is a good driver. I can't wait to see what he does. Cause like I said, I think it shows he is a quality driver. Perez, we've always said that, and Perez deserves more wins under his belt. I think this is a circuit that he can get it. He's win. Boom.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, moving on to Max Verstappen, we'll come back to KJ in a minute because he is currently AWOL at the moment. But it hasn't been a great weekend for him in general, and obviously getting fourth place, still within a decent pace. But do you think he's got a lot of improving to going into the Monaco race?
He does because he's obviously competing with Leclerc, but I don't know with Verstappen. He's just not with it this weekend. He just don't seem like he's got the pace. He's all. He seems to be the slowest out of the 4 cars at the moment, and it's been consistently like that. It just doesn't seem like he's got it hooked. He's only like he's going through the corners with enough aggression. Yeah, I think he needs to do much better tomorrow, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he has been almost behind on the pace, and it's been a bit unusual to see Max like that. And he doesn't want to be dependent on, again, gearbox issues. He doesn't want to be sitting there in fourth. Obviously, I imagine the Red Bulls will eventually swap should it become a dead race, and he probably will get third in the end. But he won't want to be sitting in third. He won't want to lose 10, potentially 11 points, depending on who gets the fastest lap. He doesn't want to be losing that much time, so and that many points. So it is what it is. But he just did seem off the pace. Just in time for me to come to him. KJ, Max Verstappen obviously hasn't had the best of weekends. Do you think he'll have the pace to get back at the Ferraris in the race, or do you think it's going to be a bit of a dead rubber for him?
Yeah, I think he will have the pace this weekend. I'm not sure what happened. He wasn't completely in the race. Kind of struggled a bit with the car. I'm not sure what's going on. But I don't think his performance today will match his performance tomorrow. I think he does have the pace to get back up there. But I mean, Monaco is such a dead circuit. It's kind of hard to pick up places. So depending on what kind of start he has and how he can manage the car, then I assume he will perform well as always. But yeah, I mean, qualified fourth. The best I can see him do is maybe get third, hopefully second. But he will be gunning to finish P1. Will it happen though? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough one. Obviously, I imagine as we kind of said, we imagine should it become a dead race, Perez and Verstappen will probably swap, which will give him he'll only be 10 points off Leclerc rather than the trying to think count what the points would be 12, 13, whatever it would be, finishing fourth. But it's yeah, I mean he's not he hasn't looked to at all good the whole weekend, so it's been a bit of a strange one. Moving into fifth place, Wayne, we'll go straight to you. Lando Norris. For me, very good lap, very good drive, and has looked quite good despite being obviously ill. What do you think of Lando's performance today?
I'm over the moon. I'm not over the moon with my other teammate, but I'm over the moon with Norris.
Yeah, I'm just watching Ricardo now. He did not look happy at the start of that interview, and that's not what we see from Ricardo.
But he's for what he's gone through, like tonsillitis, it's not something to take lightly, and he's physically been ill. And in the last 2 races, weekend and what he started this weekend, he has looked much better driver than Ricardo, and the difference is night and day. And it just there's something what we've said. Well, I've been watching it. Everyone's saying that he's a future world champion, and that for me is brilliant because he is a world champion in my mind in the waiting.
Yeah, definitely. He's a fantastic driver, and hopefully he'll get some more success. We can now joined by the main man, Sadiq. How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just happy Max Verstappen is not on the front row. It's looking good, man. It's looking good. I was laughing though because when I saw the spin, the cameras didn't notice it straight away when it happened, and then obviously Martin Brundle said at the end. I don't know if you lot heard it properly, and then I don't know how the other car didn't see it.
Well, but it is a tight corner, so it is one of them ones that he just comes for signs. It just comes at him very quickly. But we couldn't understand why Perez was going so fast into that corner. Could you understand?
Yeah, he's trying too hard. He's trying too hard. He's trying too hard, man. Like he was faster than Max all weekend. I think it was. He had it, man. He could have been second, maybe, but Leclerc's on a different level, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he does look very good. Obviously, we were just speaking about Lando Norris getting fifth, and that was
Norris.
Great lap.
Even his first lap was like, I think he made a mistake or he went too wide or something. I can't remember. And then he still done a very, very good lap. Crazy lap. 1:11.8, I think it was, on top of my head. Yeah, did he improve on that one? He didn't improve on that one, did he?
No.
I was driving at the same time and watching it. It was a bit difficult, but yeah, I saw it. He's still done well.
Would you drive like Hampton?
Bro, listen, honestly, I was arguing with a Mercedes. No, I swear to God, I was arguing with a Mercedes. Basically, the guy was in the middle lane, I was on the right lane, and my car takes ages to put the foot down because it's a 1 liter. He came in front of me, and I went into the middle lane, and I was like, what are you doing? And I went past 2 cars, and I just cut in, and he chased me all the way all the way from Walthamstow all the way to Barking. He was like this to me. He was like, "Don't do it." He's like, "Don't do this." Mercedes, man. All the Mercedes drivers, man.
them bloody Mercedes drivers.
It's the
If only
Mercedes.
they weren't. If only they weren't faster in Formula One. But it is what it is. Obviously, moving into sixth place, George Russell. KJ, I'll start with you. Obviously, Russell again. We don't know whether Hamilton would have got above Russell because it was obviously thanks to your boy that stopped that. But Russell out qualifying Hamilton again. And do you think P6 is best he can do?
I think it was the best he could do. They're still kind of getting used to the improvements of the car right now, so I suspect Russell. This is probably going to be the pattern. I don't see Hamilton having a better season than Russell, which is crazy to say, but I mean, all weekend Russell's just been fantastic. I genuinely thought he might have made pole today. But yeah, no, Russell's having an amazing season so far. I think P6 isn't a reflection of how he raced, but it's good enough. And I only see him getting better than that. It's weird because he's starting to creep up to our top four this season, which is weird to say because at this time you expect Hamilton to be the one. But yeah, Russell's making a good case for himself this season.
Mhm.
Yeah,
No, he's had a lot of luck, bro. He's had a lot of luck.
You think it's luck? I don't know.
Yeah,
He's always been a good
cars.
driver.
Come on.
No, I
It's safety
think
cars.
race wise, yes, but I think
No, not qualifying. Yeah, not qualifying.
Pace has been fine.
But come on, man, KJ. I know you hate Hamilton, but Black Lives Matter, man.
Whoa! I didn't say I hate Hamilton, bro.
It seems it.
What? No, I just have my preferred driver. You've got your preferred driver.
How can you like Max Verstappen?
Bro, he drives the way. If I was in F1, I'd drive the same way Verstappen does. He's just excited to drive,
so when you're defending,
so
when you're defending, you change your decision. That's what I hate about you drivers, man. I don't want that.
Big up Rob in the comments. 1:30 a.m. in Australia. That's mad.
Who's Rob?
Big up for coming on the stream.
Have you seen him before?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
He's coming.
Who is he?
Big up to Rob anyway. Ferrari.
Big up, man.
Let's go, baby. I mean, it is what it is. Us Mercedes will come back. We will come back slowly, but eventually.
We're not coming back.
We will come back. Have faith, Sadiq. If I've got to have faith in Chelsea's transfer window, you can have faith in Mercedes.
Man, listen, everyone's getting excited about Spanish Grand Prix saying we can surprise people today. It's absolute nonsense, okay? Listen, as long as Max Verstappen doesn't win, everyone be happy. It's like Liverpool. No one wants Liverpool to win. It's the same. Everyone will come together. Max Verstappen, if he doesn't win, if he doesn't come second, I'm happy. I hope Perez makes like problems in the team.
Perez ain't good for problems, but
he's saying I'm fighting for the championship.
Yeah. I mean, Wayne, obviously with Russell, it was a good drive from him, but still, obviously, compared to Norris, still 3 tenths behind. So does that show that how good Norris's lap was, or it was Russell still? Could he have got more out of that car?
Over the weekend, the Mercedes have not looked strong. They have looked behind. Hamilton's been really struggling, and Russell, he's not been in the top 6 that much as I can remember. So I'm not surprised they're behind Norris. Norris has had a good week so far, but for some reason, Monaco's just not suiting Mercedes at the moment. They're struggling around the circuit.
I think they did say before we even got to Monaco that this was going to be a racetrack we would struggle with in general, and you can see the proportion is probably the worst I've ever seen it, if I'm honest. But it doesn't surprise me because I think it might not even be the car itself. It might just be that the track is so bouncy in general that it doesn't help it at all.
But it's not a proper track, is it? It's not a proper track pavement. It's literally a normal road, but it's got bumps and everything in it.
Yeah, it is what it is. I obviously it might not be here next season, so we might not have to experience it again. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Obviously, moving into 7th place, Alonso and KJ, another good, solid positioning by Alonso, wasn't it?
Oh, definitely. I must say, he must be surprised he's doing this well this season. I'm definitely surprised. I thought he was dropping off. But yeah, he had such a solid run today. At one point, I thought maybe Paul was on the cards. But yeah, no, solid drive from him today, man. I'm glad he's having a good time. I'm glad he's enjoying Formula One, because at one point it became very apparent that it looked like he was disinterested. But yeah, I think he's found his sweet spot, and he's riding that wave, and I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I mean, Wayne, we were discussing last time about how good we thought the Alpine was, and we were surprised in terms of actually the race points, how low it actually was between them. Do you think they're going to start racking up some points now between him and Ocon now?
I think for me, they're the 4th team behind Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes. I'll say Alpine's probably the most consistent team with partners, because Alonso and Ocon are still I've got a good partnership going on. I wouldn't be honest. Ricciardo's doing so poorly. I wouldn't mind swapping him for Alonso right now.
I think you'd bring Mazepin back in the sport just to get rid of Ricciardo right
King
now.
of Monaco, what's wrong with him?
He's just,
What's wrong with him?
I don't know what's wrong with Ricciardo right now. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. Sadiq, obviously going into Alonso quickly. 7th place, Mr. Consistency. Is he just the inevitable? Is he like Thiago Silva, forever Alonso?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he brings the best out of average cars, man. We've seen it time and time again. I think he also helped his teammate win the race a couple seasons ago. This guy just does really, really well, man. Obviously, he was one of my favorites. Well, you have to get in the way of Hamilton, so we parted ways, and I was no longer his friend. But yeah, he's always going to be one of the best, man. He deserved more championships, definitely, because he's only got 2, right? He's only got 2,
Yeah.
and I think there was only one time where he competed against, I think, Vettel. Not Vettel, yeah, Vettel at Red Bull, actually. I think it was 2012, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, he's come back. He left the sport, he came back, and he's still good. What is he, 40 years old? I think he is.
Mm.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It is crazy. Obviously moving into my main man, Lewis Hamilton, Mr. Unlucky again. About to do his fine lap. We don't know where he would have gone. I personally think he would have been slotted in between Alonso and Russell. I don't think he would have beat Russell, but I think he would have been very close. KJ, is it just another? When is his luck gonna? When is his unluckiness gonna end? It just seems race after race, something is going wrong. But he just,
Bro, it's not unluckiness.
I know he's not the fastest at the moment, and there are questions between him and Russell. Huh?
Listen to what he says.
It's not unluckiness, bro. This is his level.
Told you.
We have found his level. This is his level, bro. Mid-table team driver, bro. Mid-table team killer.
KJ, I don't hate Lewis Hamilton.
I don't hate him. This is just his level, man. There's young upcoming drivers that are superior and have more desire and just know how to drive a car. And Hamilton has finally found his level. You know, he's with Alonso in the Mandem, and that's okay with me, bro. Every racer hits this. Every racer hits this point in their career, and he's finally hit it, bro.
And then there's other drivers that can only win championships via human error. It is what it is.
You know what? I hope he wins the season, because when he does, you cannot use that excuse anymore.
But he won't.
When he wins it legitimately, I'll hold my hands up. But until then, he's the human error champion.
Right. If anyone's watching that, can you clip that so we can play that? Because he don't hold his hands up and admit that Verstappen is a talent. Then they hold you to that one, mate.
I won't go quite that far, but I'll admit he's a world champion.
If he wins legit this season, I'll be like, cool, bro.
You was nearly going to say legend. Wayne, you were nearly going to say legend. I'll be like, no.
No, I was good, yeah. But he if he does what everyone's going to say he's going to do, he will become a legend of the sport. Let's be honest.
Of course.
He's got the talent there. He's got the talent. You can't take that away from him.
To be fair, he started at 17, so he's been around for a long time. So yeah,
we'll see about. We won't predict what the future is. Wayne, I'll come to you as a bit more of a neutral. Do you think it's again unluckiness for Hamilton, or obviously he did struggle generally? So I'm not gonna lie, he was struggling throughout most of the weekend. Apart from end of P3 onwards, he was doing okay. But do you think it's just unlucky again, not being able to get a lap through?
I'll be honest. I think he was lucky to be where he was, and it's because he's just been struggling throughout. He's had more padding. Look, I've not been over. Even Sadiq probably did better than him at the moment driving, and that's saying something. But
I'm a world-class driver.
Not that lamppost. Don't say that story, mate. But it's a fact of it's annoying because Hamilton this year has just been so off the pace. Russell has just overshadowed him by a mile. I truly think it's like I think two things has bothered him. I think the car is not suiting his style of racing, and I think fortunately what happened at the end of last year is affects him mentally in a real bad way.
I will take the first point as a legitimate answer. I do not think the second point. I don't.
Eight-time champion.
I don't think you go through that many championship wins, especially after. I'd argue Rosberg was bad, if not worse.
2007
was. So I think I don't think mentally is a proper argument to have, especially when you're that close to. You can't mentally check. I'd be very disappointed if he mentally checks out when he's so close to making history.
Next year, guys. Next year.
I just think these cars, and I know people are going to say, "Well, Alonso," but different people are suited different, have different bodies. If he keeps complaining obviously about this back problem, and now they've had to put extra padding in the seat just for him to be able to sort it. I think, as I've said to you, Wayne, before, I think I am concerned with how many different drivers are complaining about issues. Sainz has complained about it, which obviously is in a Ferrari, us in one of the better cars. You've had Russell complain about it. You've had Ocon's complained about it. A number of the other drivers further down the grid. So when you're getting so many people complaining about back problems, and bearing in mind when you think about a Formula One driver, how much they have to put themselves through physically just to get in the car for the G-force. If they're now struggling with issues and this many, it does send alarm signs, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, but it is unfortunate. I think this style of car, I think they're still not got it completely right for the drivers. You've got to remember, this is just brought back, brand new design. They've got to take it in. Now they're getting this information to make the cars better for the drivers. So I'm not surprised it's taking its toll on the drivers at the moment. They've just got to fight through it at the moment. Unless it's some proper serious damage, what can be affected? Well, we don't know. Let's be honest, we're not drivers, so we can't sit in and say what sort of damage it is. No, I mean, for Formula One drivers, it's like, Jesus. Not someone who drives people around the bend. But but yeah, it's wait. As we have to wait and see. I think when after the British Grand Prix, I think we'll see better what will happen, because I think that's about mid-season, if I'm right. But I think we won't really know what's been going on, to be honest.
I was going to say one thing. I'm going to head out anyway. Hamilton, what, 8th position? What time is he starting on tomorrow, by the way?
It'll be 2 or 3. Well, see, today it started at 3, so that's why I feel like we start at 3 again.
No, it
as in
starts
what
at tomorrow.
size?
Where
Me?
it could be immediate,
Probably
it could be
wait,
intermediate.
Probably wait.
What, it's raining?
It's raining all day.
Yeah.
So listen, it's not. Listen, I think the people in like 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th will actually climb up this table. I think there's going to be a lot of problems tomorrow for drivers. Definitely, I think there's going to be a first corner crash as well.
Well, if Perez is spinning out on the dry, God knows what he's going to do on the wet.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's not a bad day for Hamilton. I'm sure some luck will come his way tomorrow. I can count it. He's going to go long. He's going to go long, definitely. I can really see it. And hopefully we get some luck, man. But I'm going to head out, guys. Thanks for sorting the stream out. Matt, making time for us for once. He always forgets us nowadays. Wayne, always on, consistent. You can take his spot for all brand. KJ, you're the most difficult person to contact, alongside Matt. Big up to you.
KJ's got his things he's got to do.
Of course. See, Matt gets it. He gets it.
What, with his hand? Anyways.
Jacob. Hey, Sadiq, I'm not taking your favors no more, bro.
I'm joking. It's all love. Listen, I'll catch you guys soon, yeah?
Big up to you.
Peace.
Right, so guys, we've got 8 likes so far on the stream. Can you please smash it to 10 likes before we finish this? It will be very helpful for the channel. So big up to you all for that. I think Sadiq's frozen, so I'm just going to remove him. There you go. Obviously moving into 9th, and we'll touch on Ocon quickly after, but Sebastian Vettel, KJ, what a wonderful drive for him. Obviously Aston Martin's not been very good at this tool this season. To get P9, it's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that was actually a brilliant drive from Sid today. It's weird. I actually thought Aston Martin were going to do much better this season. But yeah, I've got no words. Vettel's actually he's unbelievable. He definitely deserves a better car. He's carrying Aston Martin on his back. He's such an upstanding guy, man. Yeah, I thought he drove brilliantly today. Fair play to him, man. Yeah, there's not a lot I can say. But yeah, I think he owns the streets, man. Quite plain to put it. But yeah, he's definitely, I think he's top 5 drivers in the grid. It's just he's being let down by what he's using, but I think he's top 5 drivers.
I mean, there's no quite. He's got a very good talent. I've always felt sometimes when the pressure gets to him in the big situations, you've seen it when he's had battles with Lewis Hamilton before. He's that. My biggest recollection was the spin in Germany. Was it Hockenheim? Where he spun it and put it in the wall.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah,
and it's just like the big situations like that when the pressure gets to him. I find too many times he loses it. Which when you're at the creme de la creme, you've got to have that kind of steel about you. Which one thing I don't find Verstappen has any either. I find he just crashes. I find he just crashes into people to get away with it sometimes. But maybe that will improve with age. We'll get to that in a later show.
He's just an aggressive driver, bro. It's not his fault that players are shook.
Aggressive driver. I didn't realize aggressive drivers ramming people off the track, but there you go.
Hey man, listen. Drivers that come up to him have two choices. One, you can either stand up to him and try maneuver out the way, or two, just let him go past. And they always pick the latter. It's not his fault.
We've all got to run off the track, let Verstappen through, because otherwise he's just going to steer into you, because that's what he does nowadays.
Hey,
Steers
there-
into other drivers. We know what
there's
he
no
did.
rule that
Oh,
says you
I
can't be
tell you now,
aggressive.
you two make me chuckle.
There's no rule that says you can't be aggressive, bro.
There is a rule that you can't steer into another driver, though.
Look,
Does
the
he
thing
steer into
is,
the driver?
right?
Or does he just touch him? Get close.
If this was Hamilton, right, you'll be defending him, saying
I'm
he's
telling
fine, he's doing
you,
the right thing.
bro.
Criticised him
You-
before. Do you remember? We remember Barcelona when it was Hamilton Rosberg, the crash.
Mm-hmm.
I criticised. I said Hamilton was incredibly stupid for that because he should have let Russell have the space. Rosberg deserved to have the space at that time. When Hamilton does something wrong, I'll be critical. There's times when Hamilton was younger that at times he was a bit too much.
You just answered your own question. When he was younger, how old do you think Verstappen is?
Yes,
Bro.
but by younger he was not very long. Verstappen had plenty of time in Formula One to try and get over this. If anything, he's got worse, not better.
He's young, bro.
Why are you there digging your hole?
He's young,
I
bro.
like
He's young.
my
He's
hole.
learning.
I'll dig it even more. Why not? I like it. Anyway,
Just admit it's exciting to watch Verstappen, bro. Just admit it.
It's not exciting to watch Verstappen. It's like a heart attack. It's like a heart attack trying to watch Verstappen because you don't know where your driver's probably going to end up on the wall.
Wow, he's the
You need
best driver on the
bulletproof,
grid,
you need
man, for a
bulletproof
reason.
windows
So,
and stuff like that because you're just gonna get done.
hey,
You
man,
need
to
a
be the
tank.
best, you gotta play hard, bro.
You could be in a tank racing Verstappen, you'd still be worried crash into you.
Okay.
But we'll move on to Wayne. What did you think of obviously Sebastian Vettel, ninth place? We were saying how fantastic he was to get in the top 10.
Yeah, it was really good performance for Aston Martin, but you're forgetting how good his partner is. Come on, Megamind. Got to think of Megamind here.
Oh my god, no, we'll get to that. Wayne,
You've got
did
to
you see
think of
that
it.
when it was a point when Stroll went on radio and he just started screaming? I was like, what is wrong with this guy? Like, honestly. Oh. Did you see it, KJ?
No, I didn't.
Literally, he just did like some. I don't even know how to describe it. He like screamed as if he was
Because
in
he
pain.
won't get out the top, bottom again. He starts screaming or something. It's like
He was
he
like,
doesn't realise how bad
I'm
he
like,
is.
oh my god, what is wrong with this guy? Like, this guy's. He's the guy. Like you guys say, I hate Verstappen. Stroll, get him, get out. It's time to go. You're an idiot. You're
Yeah.
wasting. You are a waste of a space.
That's one thing I can agree. Stroll is stealing a living. I've never rated him like that.
I just wondered if he weren't for his dad, he wouldn't be in Formula One, would he?
No,
He wouldn't. He wouldn't. He's not good.
He's useless. It's like you get a kid from Make a Wish Foundation and put him in a car. That is literally Lance Stroll.
Oh my days.
I don't know.
You're right. You're right in saying that.
See, you can tell I got anger in my eyes just thinking about Lance Stroll in a Formula One car. See, even Verstappen, Verstappen has quality. Lance Stroll is just embarrassing. Oh no! We'll get on. I'll start bursting blood vessels talking about Lance Stroll. So we'll move on. Obviously Ocon, not really too much to say. Again, unlucky with the Perez thing. Wasn't able to get a proper lap through. But again, top 10, good for Alpine. Better for Ocon. Moving into the guys that went out of Q2. Starting with Yuki Tsunoda. KJ, it was very close in the end. For Tsunoda to get in and out, but it wasn't really good enough, was it, for him?
I wasn't good enough, and what happened? He suffered a tire puncture.
Yeah, he did suffer that tire puncture, obviously, and then just didn't really get a good enough lap out.
Literally didn't. It dipped after that, so I'm not sure if he just felt like he couldn't get back up to it. But a poor showing from him, from an otherwise driver that's normally pretty solid or has been solid this season. So yeah, I won't hold it against him. I think it's kind of hard when you kind of go into F1. Monaco is kind of a hard one to get used to. But yeah, wasn't an impressive showing from him.
Yeah, definitely not. It was. I mean, it was unlucky. He was very close to getting it in
Mm.
the end. I think I did praise him at the time because when he hit the wall and his tire punctured, Wayne was kind of like, well, why is he stupidly going to the pits? Why is he not just stopping there? But I think he knew that if he could get himself back, he can get himself a time and potentially get into
Mm.
Q3. But it was just unlucky in the end. I don't understand why the red flag was put out. If I'm brutally honest, if you could see that he was still going, I don't
Yeah,
see.
the red flag was a bit of a weird one, but I think they
I
just
don't see.
feared that.
I don't. I was saying to Wayne, I don't see why you couldn't just do double wave yellows at least just for 10 seconds to see how it is, and then go into red flag.
Yeah, I
He's
just
not.
think they wanted to
He's not
avoid.
in the wall. He's still moving. You see if he starts, if he looks like he's going to have to stop, then you put a red flag on. But as he got back, it was kind of a bit of a pointless one in the end, and it did nearly mess up certain drivers because obviously it meant everyone was rushing to get that final time, and some people didn't get the time, so it was potentially big people could have gone out. Like, for example, the next person, although I did think he would have gone out anyway, in Valtteri Bottas. Obviously, 12th place, not very good for Bottas compared to recent races. But the Alfa Romeo hasn't been very good this weekend, has it, Wayne? KJ?
No, it hasn't really shown its pace, the pace that it had shown the past few races. Um, but I think it's just down to him. But I mean, it's weird because most cars today didn't show the pace that they normally had. So I'm not sure what the conditions are at the moment. Um, but yeah, not a good showing from him. It almost felt lackluster. He almost felt like what's his name? Flipping Nick. How do I forget his name? It almost felt like the way Verstappen raced. It kind of was just unenergetic. If anything, even worse. So yeah, that's the only time I'll critique Verstappen. But yeah, not a good showing from him today.
Yeah, I'll take that Verstappen critique when I get it, because you don't get it too often from KJ. Guys, we have 4 people watching, and we need one more like to get to this 10 likes. Please, anyone that hadn't smashed the like button already, please smash the like button because it helps us boost the channel and get more people online. So make sure you smash the like button, get us to 10 likes, and then we'll be happy. Even if KJ ain't happy because Perez is an idiot and can't
Bro,
get
that
out of the wall.
that crash
Um,
took all my energy, bro. I'm so upset.
it was just such a anticlimactic ending. It's typical Monaco kind of thing, really. I'm surprised it
Yeah,
doesn't happen often. Just people
yeah.
just
Didn't it happen last season as well?
no, yeah. Do you remember when this is one thing that really annoyed me, when Rosberg locked up and went into the
Oh yeah, yeah.
that was something that really pissed me off for Rosberg because you knew that was so blatantly obvious done on purpose.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna compare it to this moment, but that was definitely blatant.
Yeah, that was like, oh, I remember that time I was fuming, absolutely fuming. I couldn't control myself at that point. I was a bit younger and a bit more boom, reactionary. Going into next, obviously Kevin Magnussen again. Haas didn't look very good this race, did they?
Bro, I'm on my knees. I'm begging for this guy to be good at least once. I just need to see a race where he just performs. Um, I don't know what it is, man. Um, such a potentially good driver. Um, but man, he had he just didn't have a good race. I'm not sure what's going on over at Haas. Um, Magnussen is clearly the stronger driver out of 2 poor drivers. Schumacher as well had flipping, yeah, but we'll talk about that. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean
Magnussen,
Schumacher 15th as well. Not was lucky to not go out of Q1.
mm,
Very
very.
between him and Albon, but they, they have a race where you think they look really good, and then they just have a
Mm,
race where they're either really good or really poor.
mm,
Which I suppose for Haas is technically an improvement from being constantly crap
mm-hmm,
much compared to
mm-hmm.
last. So I suppose in a small club mentality way, that is improvement. But so I suppose we have to give him praise at some point. But it's still
Yeah,
not. I still find it's not good enough. I still find there needs to just
yeah,
be more from the drivers because I think Mick. I understand why he's in the car, but I think he's stealing the seat as well.
yeah. I say this as well. Mick is definitely stealing a living. I've mentioned this a lot of times. He's not ready for F1. Um, he needs to go back. But it's understandable why he's there. Kevin Magnussen, he's got so much potential to be good, but he's not getting the best out of the car, and I don't think he can get as best as you want out of the car that they currently have right now, which is sad because both drivers have the potential to be so good. Um, but yeah, I don't. This is like I said for Hamilton. I think this is the level. This is the level that they're going to compete in. I don't think they're anywhere near kind of making any sort of mid-table bid. Um, but yeah, man, disappointing drive from K Mac today.
Yeah, it is definitely. Obviously, in between the pair of them, Daniel Ricciardo, again, another very poor qualifying session for him. Obviously, Wayne managed to dip out just in time to not have to speak about it. I think his blood would be boiling, and it was during the race. Um, it's really getting towards a time where we're gonna have to say is it time up for Ricciardo at McLaren, isn't it?
Bro, I said it was time up for him last season. He's not good enough for F1. I'm sorry, Wayne, if you watch this again. He's not good enough. And it's when you juxtapose him against now on Norris, who's having an exceptional season in the same spec car, it makes you sort of wonder if the potential we claimed that he had was there to begin with. Because he's never been the sort of driver that I can understand why people sort of potential in him to be a world champion, but the more he moves teams and you kind of see this level he's at, the more I'm kind of convinced that we were probably prisoners of hype more than anything. I don't think he has the potential to be a world champion. I hope he proves me wrong one day, but I don't even think he'll get that day. If we're being honest, I think personally, McLaren do need a driver that can either challenge Norris or be better than Norris, because Norris is just dragging this team at this point.
Yeah, I mean, especially when there's good young drivers that could step in, particularly on McLaren's side to have a look. I mean, one thing we were discussing, we were laughing about, Wayne was looking at the reserve drivers from McLaren should anything happen between the two drivers. And one of them on the list is Paul di Resta.
What?
Imagine Paul di Resta back
What?
to McLaren.
Bro, that's like a dream. That's like a dream. You know what? Nah, never mind.
I'm just like,
Please,
I'm just
God,
like,
no.
can Norris's tonsillitis get a bit worse, please?
Bro, bro, he's you know what? Ricardo's the best out of what they have. So please no. Um, definitely no. I think they kind of need to look elsewhere. Tonsillitis gets worse. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe his performance was down to his tonsillitis problems.
It's Norris has got tonsillitis problems, so it doesn't really put in as problems. But do you think should McLaren decide to get rid of Ricardo? Do you think there's a space for him in Formula One at any other team, or do you think that's time up for him and he'll move on?
Maybe Haas because that's his level. Uh,
Oh, harsh. That is a bit harsh.
yeah, that's a bit harsh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but it's just I love Danny Ricciardo, man. I think he's such a good driver, and I think he's such an upstanding guy. Red Bull was a bit unfortunate. I'm one of those few people that always say he should have never left. But it's understandable as to why he did leave. There was a clear favorite, and was getting to the point where he just couldn't work with Verstappen anymore. Even though he was promised that, well, not promised, but kind of touted to be their number one driver. Renault was probably the same thing. It just did not work out, and you kind of saw the level he was dipping to, and it's almost getting worse. There's this like sharp decline, and it's not looking good in the teams that he signs for. So I don't know if any other team would look towards bringing him on. I don't know unless he has a resurgence in the back half of the season, it kind of just feels like it's more of a gamble than an improvement bringing him in.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I imagine Ricardo, while he's been in F1 for a while, is not going to cost cheap either. I think he'll be on a
Mm,
pretty penny in terms of wage. So, yeah, I think it's one of them ones he could suddenly drop out. But that, as Wayne was talking to me about it, there's so many other motorsports. I think he'll naturally branch into something else.
mm,
I imagine he might do well in there. Going down further in the grid, obviously now we're going into the guys that went out of Q1. We'll start with Albon 16th, and then might as well talk about Latifi well in 19th for Williams. Just, I mean, better from Albon. You would say he was a bit unlucky not to get into Q2. I think Albon's really, again, if you're talking about drivers that are pushing the car to the limit, Albon's really pushing that terrible Williams to the limit and proving to be a. Again, I think Latifi. I don't want to be rude on the Canadians, but stealing a living, isn't
yeah. Oh man, Latifi's finished. He's done all year. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if Williams do kind of look towards replacing him. But as it stands now, he's having a shocking season. As for Albon, I can see he's trying really hard, and I can appreciate that. Um, I do think there's more in there for him to be better. But as you said, he's driving to the limit in a car that's just not good enough. Um, yeah, it's very unfortunate for him, and he's such a good driver as well. So I don't know if you're kind of looking towards replacing Danny Rick, I'd replace him with Albon. To be honest, I think Albon in a McLaren would be kind of a good match.
it?
Um,
Yeah, I think he'd be a good, almost a good challenge with Norris.
yeah, yeah, and I think that's McLaren's philosophy as well, kind of getting in young drivers. Um, I think it's probably the direction they want to head in. But yeah, I'm sad for Albon, but what can you say, man? You can't really critique a good driver in a bad car. You kind of just have to hope that the what 15 other people ahead of him do bad. As for Latifi, shocking driver. I, I don't know. I don't know. He's not good. He's not good.
Yeah, I mean, he's not good at all. I mean, he's just. You'd argue he did okay last season a little bit. There were times you think, okay, maybe he can push on from this, but he's gone backwards. I don't know whether it's that spin that ultimately helped decide the world championship, whether that's got in his head a little bit, because he said he did suffer with that during the winter break, and
Mm.
I'm not going to be one of them Mercedes fans that has a go at Latifi like that, because
Oh my days! I just remembered in the race. Flip it. Was it yesterday where they told the TV to follow Albon around so he can learn something?
that's something you shouldn't. I get you're being you got to be harsh. You got to be harsh sometimes, but that I think something it's not what you should say to a driver at all.
It's not what you should say definitely, but you can see where the frustrations lie in right now.
Yeah, I just don't think it's fair to say that. I think that's you get to a point where you've got to be you can't what's that gonna do to him? It's not gonna improve him at all. It's just gonna make him
Yeah,
feel worse.
yeah,
It is what it is. I think Williams are going through a dreadful situation. The question will be, will they ever get back to anything? Because I think they've been struggling for way too long now, and it's
yeah,
obviously such a historic team. Frank Williams, it's
yeah,
kind of heartbreaking to see him down there, but unfortunately,
yeah.
it is what it is. Um,
I I kind of think the only reason why they're still even in F1 is because of history. Um,
I
but
do,
I'll
I
say
do, I do think Mercedes also do prop them up because it is a good
mm,
opportunity for Mercedes to bring through the likes of Russell drivers like
yeah,
that into seats, and because you do always have that your Alpha Tauri, which is basically
yeah,
Red Bull B team.
yeah,
Ferrari used to have it back in the day. They don't really have anyone. I suppose Alfa Romeo is technically
mm,
Ferrari like. So everyone has their teams. I think Williams is that Mercedes team, and that's why I always look at Alexander Albon. I think if he can really improve, does he potentially? Because Hamilton will probably, we imagine, go within the next 2-3 years. There is a big battle for that other seat next to Russell. But we'll see how that goes. I mean, hopefully at some point Williams can find out the right formula, the right team, the right structure within the team, and they can get at least just further up the grid rather than last place. But it is what it is. 17th, obviously Pierre Gasly and the AlphaTauri. I said to Wayne in the first qualifying session as it was ending, I said, Pierre Gasly's going to go up for Q1. He said, no, wait, no, he's going to get a good time, go up next to Tsunoda. And I was right, proved right, 17th place. I mean, Gasly's not, I don't know what's wrong with him this year. He did so well last year, and he's just dropped the level again, hasn't he, KJ? Obviously, you've experienced a little bit of Gasly in the Red Bull. What do you think?
I think he's another driver that has just good potential. He's technically, I think he's gifted. He's got a good grasp on just handling the car. But I think it's more of a confidence thing. Just with how he's got into the position he is right now, I don't think his confidence is way up there. He's such a good driver, man. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on with him this season. I don't see it getting any better. It's just one of those weird ones where a young driver. I mean, I'm just trying to make sense of it, but it's kind of a weird one. It's a weird one. Albon kind of went through something similar to this as well, so it's a weird one to comprehend or put into words.
Yeah, I think it's just weird. I just don't get how you can go something so good to so bad, so good so bad in the matter of seasons, races, and it is a bit strange. I think I've always out of him and Albon, I always preferred Albon anyway. And then last season Gasly was doing so well, and everyone was like, "Oh no, Gasly's so much of a better driver," and I was like, I'll wait and see in the long run because I think Albon be the better out of the two, and I think Albon's in much a worse car, and he's doing better personally.
It's weird because last season Gasly was easily outpacing Tsunoda. Now it's the exact opposite. So it's almost a switch around. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. I think hopefully Pierre can find out what's going on and change it because he should be further up the grid than what he is. And then obviously in lonely 20th place, Yo and you, which obviously we're not going to. I'm not going to be too harsh now. I mean, he had car issues within practice, so I don't think they expect him to get out of Q1. And I mean, his time was 1.2 seconds slower than Latifi, so obviously the car wasn't really made back together properly. But I suppose it will be. He's got time. He's got time. I've seen enough from him in moments to say he's got something in him because he was one of them drivers again. It's the typical. He's got a lot of money. He's got his whole country backing him. And it's always one of them ones are they there because of their talent or are they there because of the money? It was the same with people like Perez. You had back in the day people like Pastor Maldonado, Yuki Tsunoda. They're all that kind of same ilk of, yes, they're backed by their country, but are they good enough? Because unfortunately you get a lot of drivers that just never get through because they just, again, don't have the money compared to these guys. So, but I think I've seen, like I saw with Tsunoda last year, I see enough to say, yes, you deserve to be here. Now, show me what you've got.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to see how he is towards the end of the season once he's got used to the car. Because obviously, I think Yuki Tsunoda's lucky he come in last season. I think these cars are
Yeah,
so harder to get used to than a car last year. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But obviously, going into a little bit of the preview of the race tomorrow, obviously, normally F1 Monaco, I normally say what the classification is now is probably going to be a classification for the race because it's boring. I normally fall asleep
yeah.
during this race half the time. But there is potential for it to be a decent race because the magical R word is coming into the track. A little bit of wet rain, which, as we see, suits certain drivers and doesn't suit certain other drivers. How do you think the race could pan out tomorrow? Obviously, with the rain, do you think that there will be any issues?
Definitely will cause issues, which is why I said I've got a feeling it might be an exciting race this time. Depending on how the players kind of manage themselves, they could be um, it could be decent position switching at the top. I think your top three, as you see it, won't be the top three that ends the race. I'd be surprised if it is. Um, but yeah, Leclerc, I think he's pretty much got it. I don't see him kind of screwing this up, especially in his home Grand Prix. I don't see him kind of folding under pressure. As for second, third, fourth, and fifth, I think is all to play for. To be honest, I do see a crash. I do see it affecting the leadership position. So yeah, I've got faith that the rain for once kind of make the situation a bit more exciting in Monaco.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it will make hopefully spice up at least a little bit. Um, Hopefully, it will be. Obviously, there's a couple more things to speak about. First of all, something Lewis Hamilton said before the race. He had like kind of a special piece interview done talking about his time on the Monaco Grand Prix, etc. And he mentioned obviously how kind of what we say it's can be a bit of a boring race when you're stuck behind people. But do you think he kind of said how one way they could change it is where you add another pit? You say that you've got to take 2 pit stops rather than 1, so it gives a bit more change and interchangeability with the strategy. Do you think that could be something the FIA could look to improve Monaco a little bit?
Definitely makes it kind of it makes the race a bit more exciting if it's a two-pit strategy because you really have to think about how you'd manage your car. If the FIA do look into doing something like that rather than just scrapping Monaco together, I think that will make the race a bit more exciting because, I mean, season after season, you kind of expect the same thing now. It's kind of lost its charm. So that would make a significant change. But I don't think will solve the problem of Monaco. Like I mentioned earlier, this circuit is not suited for these cars anymore. And it's only going to get worse as the rules change consistently and how the cars just change. I don't think the track is progressive enough for these cars. But yeah, a two-pit strategy would definitely change how you would manage your car and make strategizing the race a lot more harder but effective. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, obviously, they mentioned as well, as I mentioned before, there is issues with the contract for Monaco. This is the last race on the contract deal, and they haven't agreed anything yet. And there seem to be growing as the weekend's growing more skepticism whether anything will be completed. Obviously, you've mentioned you're not a big fan of Monaco, and I'm not either. Wayne is a bit more of a fan in the historic sense. Shame we couldn't get him on for this little debate at the end. But do you think it's time for it to go? Or would you keep it just for its historical sense?
Bro, honestly, it's time for it to go. I mean, I've seen some good races in Monaco, not live, unfortunately. But yeah, I've witnessed all I need to witness. Recently, there hasn't been anything outstanding about Monaco, other than races that needed to win Monaco, won or placed top three. But other than that, there hasn't been anything significant about that track. If anything, I think last season I kind of fell asleep watching the Monaco race. So yeah, I think it's time to go. I think there's exciting tracks out there, better tracks out there. I'm with Hamilton on the camp of bring it back to South Africa, bring it back to Kyalami. Kyalami is such a good track. I'm not going to be biased, but it is better than Monaco, but I'm not biased. Yeah, it just, there needs to be a switch up. And I think if you're going to replace Monaco, do it with something that was probably there or was there once before, and the drivers can get excited about, which is why I'm a strong advocate to bring it back to South Africa. But money, is a big thing. So,
or something like Germany.
Yeah,
was a big gone for a while, and I'd like Germany back. There's multiple. I liked the way with Germany how you swapped from Nuremberg to Hockenheim.
Yeah,
and you've got other tracks you can use there as well. I just think it would be something to spice up the calendar, bring back something that's been there before. But I'd love South Africa just so I can come down and visit you.
George, bro, listen, Kyalami is like close to my ends as well. So if you ever came down, bro, it's such a vibe. And every time I go down there for race events, it's literally the best time. So if you want to,
it would complete every continent having an F1 circuit.
Yeah, it would. But it's on the cards.
We talk about diversity, inclusivity. That would be it.
Yeah, that's a big one. But like I said, it's really, it comes down to how much money they can generate from that. I think it's really just, it comes down to a money issue more than anything else.
I think they're a bit more open to it compared to recent years. There's more whispers about it compared to before.
Yeah.
I always do like Turkey as a circuit as well.
Yeah, Turkey's got some beautiful circuits. I think going down there, I mean, my top three, Russia's number one. I always love Russia, but I mean, at this point, will we ever see everyone in Russia again?
I do not think it will be back again.
Yeah, but Turkey has definitely been my top two. Been in my top two, with South Africa obviously being number three. Yeah, I any one of those tracks, I take it.
Yeah, so I mean, hopefully we'll get one of them tracks. Probably won't, but it'll be what it was. We'll probably get the 5th or 6th American track, and it'll basically be just.
Bro, they should drop. They drop Miami, sacrifice Miami.
Las Vegas looks like it could be decent.
Yeah, out of the two, I think Las Vegas looks like it could be better than Miami.
Mate, I'd rather take Indianapolis just going around in a circle.
Literally, than Miami. That's a poor track. It's just good for straights. That's it.
Yeah, it is. We are at the end of a wonderful stream, and thank you to everyone. We did hit 10 likes finally. Pleasure to get that like target. KJ, thank you for coming on once again.
Of course. Thanks for having me, man. People, if you rewatch this stream, please hit that like button. It just helps the channel grow. Spread that link. Tell your friends if they love F1 to hop on the streams, man.
Yeah, and we'll definitely eventually we'll have streams where we'll get you some of you guys in the comments on potentially if you're good, if you're not too Verstappen biased. We accept anyone except Lance Stroll fans. That's the limit. No Lance Stroll fans. But make sure you guys smash the like button. We will be back tomorrow straight after the race. Depending on how long it lasts, because Monaco, you never know. It's such a long old race with 78 laps. I don't know why they make it 78 laps. We don't want to see it enough. Just make it shorter. Yeah. But it's a punishment. So make sure you smash the like button after the stream. Try and get us to 20 likes after the stream if you're watching. Come on the comments. As Nippon said, bring back Nuremberg. He's a big fan of Nuremberg, Germany. But make sure you comment down below any questions you have, and me and KJ will be in there answering the questions for you. So this is Matt. This is KJ. This is Worldwide F1 signing out.
Bye.